I've been, as I said I would do, I've been loading up different videos from the past from my old channel, the ones that I still have, some from the Facebook or whatnot. And really, it's just to let you know I ain't new to this. All right, so I loaded up those Dr. Umar videos, just to show you the affiliation, not the affiliation so much, but just to let you see that, I'm not new to this. And also because, listen, a lot of the things that's going on right now are so epic and historical that I understand that of course there's a lot of people that's afraid of what's happening. They're uncomfortable with the change that's happening. So it's one thing that white people are uncomfortable with what's happening because they're seeing that their power is being depleted, and they're seeing the uprising, the long feared uprising is here. Actually, something that I coined a long time ago. So, and then you're seeing other people that are getting uncomfortable because a lot of people have been able to capitalize off of our pain. They've been able to capitalize off of us not being in the proper strategic position to do what we need to do or not being willing to do so. So you're seeing different Asian communities, some of them getting a little bit uncomfortable, but you're also seeing the flex. See, right now we're flexing, and we're supposed to be flexing. We're supposed to keep our foot on the gas when it comes to this protest. When it comes to everything that we're supposed to be doing, we're supposed to keep our foot on the gas. And this is why a lot of times when I'm up in some of these stores that are owned by different Asian groups, and as soon as they pop off, I'm letting them know. You know what I'm saying? Don't take none of that shit. Straight up. Do not let people operate in your community serving our people and being disrespectful about it. Just don't go for none of that. And this is not the time for fear. So that's why I'm going to go in through some of these stories I'm going to go into. All right, we're going to get into that Compton ambush that happened, police getting popped up. We're going to get into something that I've been speaking about for years now, and that is okay, so there's a situation. I want to say it's in Georgia. Yeah, it's in Georgia. As you can see right here on the right, we're going to watch this video in a minute. We're going to go into some other things. And it's the 19 families buy nearly 97 acres of land to create a city safe for black people. Now, understand something. There has been other cities acquired within the last few years. There's been the incorporation of territory. There have been cities for sale, towns for sale. And as I've been stating for years, we already have black towns to this day. I'm going to show you this in Oklahoma. We have black towns right now. Right now, right now. At least I would say about 20 of them nationwide, and about a dozen of them alone are in Oklahoma. A lot of us don't know this. And I've been saying this for years. Because if you really want to talk about black nationalism, which a lot of the people that will watch this channel and who have affiliated over time are always speaking of, and you got these Moors always talking about sovereignty. You got the Hoteps and RBGs always talking about black nationalism. Well, in order for that to happen, we have to have land. Well, we already have land. We already have cities. And that's why I keep saying, like, if you don't want to participate in politics and collective economics, how the hell are you going to participate in governing our own territory? How the hell are we going to govern our own territory when we act like participating in politics is the worst thing that we can do and our ancestors didn't die for all the other garbage that people say? King shit. That's why this is royal or random thoughts of your highness, because it's king shit. And that's what it's for. It's for the kings and queens who understand what time it is, what moves have to be made. So I know you like to misquote some, Claude Anderson and others when you want to discourage our people from participating in politics. But Claude Anderson never said don't participate in politics. He never said that voting is worthless, period. What he said is get the economic ground set first. Then your politics will be more powerful. That's what he said. I should have put that clip up. Maybe I'll do that on the next video. But that's what he said though. And that's what makes sense. So we can say what we want to even about these what do you call it? The election coming up, the federal election, the general election or whatever. Yeah, we can say, yeah, we got two garbage ass candidates right now. What's interesting though are the same ones who aren't participating are the ones that are What's your point of complaining about who the options are if you're not going to participate anyway? But you know who's participating that you're not going to sway their opinion? It's the civil rights era Negroes who put Biden in that position. You're not going to persuade them from voting for Biden. There are actual ways that you can not participate in an election and make that powerful, but I don't see that happening. It's not a movement if you're declaring you're not going to do something that you weren't doing any damn way. That's like saying you're going to boycott a business that you never shopped at. What difference does it make? None. Be strategic about this shit. And you can say all this, oh, whatever, presidents don't matter in an election and all this politics. You can say that if you want to. We can complain about decisions, but I'm going to tell you like this, like I've already said. We've already had a situation where we let candidates that would have been better. So it's like, yo, we're going to have a bum-ass president no matter what. That's just what America is. We've never had a president that we could really stand on. But I'm saying Andrew Yang was running. Perhaps if we would have put him in a strategic position, at least 1,000 a month, he was pushing that. And obviously he was able to get that done in some capacity because that's the only reason why some of y'all got those $1,200 checks. They were using the principles of Andrew Yang. So imagine if he was supported even more. Imagine how much more of what he was saying would have been incorporated, like ownership of data. If you understand how important that is and how lucrative the ownership of data is and how much money Google is making from you, you understand why I don't use Google and that the browser that I do use pays me to do it. I'm just saying like simple things like you want to make this plight a little bit easier, start getting involved in shit. Perhaps Bernie Sanders, no, he wasn't fighting for reparations. You can't expect none of these candidates to do anything for us unless we present it to them what we want. We have to make our demands. We can't wait for them to make a plan for us. That doesn't even make sense. We're supposed to create the plan and give it to them. And then based on their adoption of said plan is how much we support them no matter what side of the aisle they're on. But what happens is people just start waking up out of nowhere, watch one Hidden Colors video, and all of a sudden now they're online teaching people, telling people strategic shit that they have no business saying. I want to get into, too deep on that, but that's just the facts. Kings participate in rulership. That's what you're supposed to do. You're not even participating in your own community. You won't even bank black, but you're telling black people what we need to do to progress and what we shouldn't be doing. Cut it out. Let's get into this story, man. Let's do this.
You hear that? That is the sound of freedom. A lush and rugged expanse about 130 miles south of Atlanta, just shy of 97 acres. It's undeveloped, unincorporated, and it has new owners.
It feels amazing. It feels really amazing. I cry every time I come here.
Renee Walters is one of them. She's president of the Freedom Georgia Initiative. It's a collective of 19 black families who recently bought this land. This dream all started a few weeks ago during Renee's typical morning call with her friend Ashley Scott.
She said, Ashley, did you see the article about Toomsboro for sale?
It turns out that the entire small town was never for sale, just a bundle of a few dozen homes and buildings. So Ashley, a real estate agent, looked for listings in the area and found one for this.
And it was just such a beautiful piece of land. It was affordable, and it just made sense.
Anyway, so I don't know why it cut off there, but it does. So we're going to go ahead and get to the story. I guess I might as well go ahead and do like this right here. Real quick, like. All right, so let's continue with that story. So a group of, let's just do it like this. right, so let me just do. Let's say it like this. So another thing that I want. Hold up. Another thing I want understood real quick, man. When we speak about like the moves that need to be made collectively, and a lot of people always point to celebrities as the end all be all. So we're disappointed when they don't do what we want them to do. And then when they do start speaking up, then we don't trust them and we don't want to hear from them and we critique because they weren't saying this last year. It's just bullshit is what it is. The bottom line is this. We use celebrities to put our message out. And we support them when they do. When they go against the grain, we shun them. But we use them the same way everybody else uses them. Everybody else misuses our celebrities against us. And we act like we don't understand how to play chess or like we don't understand what technology is so that we can do the same. We should be doing the same damn thing. It's time to start playing the game. So yeah, that weak ass NBA wannabe protest for one day, whatever though. But use it for what you can. But my real point is this: when we say things like, "Well, Oprah Winfrey's a billionaire, she ain't did nothing. Jay-Z, he's a billionaire. Who cares? Who cares? You could take all the billionaires out of the equation, you wouldn't notice the difference. If you understand how much $1.4 trillion is, you could take 10 billion out of that and you won't notice. Understand that. That wouldn't even be 0.5%. So collectively, what we can do, we don't really need any help from the celebrities if you really want to tell the truth, as long as we move on code. So what happened here is a group of people decided to buy some land and or town and create. That's king shit. That's king shit. Just like the dozens of cities that we still have right now, the hundreds that we used to have. And what's the difference? Now we got to bring this back to the NFAC, to the NBPP, to the Huey P. Newton Gun Club, to all the different organizations and gun clubs that have came and went and still exist. Rest in peace, Hashim Mazinga. Rest in power. But now we got to bring it back to all of those different formations and organizations and institutions that have had a military stance of defense for our communities. And then you have to think back of why Black Wall Street failed, not because of course, the integration and people, not spending with, our own people, not spending with our own people anymore. But remember, it was bombed before that. Remember the cities that were decimated before that. And why was that so? It's because we didn't have defense. The ones that still exist today, like what I'm going to show you in Boley, Oklahoma, they exist because they had proper defense. They had armed black men and women that were willing to protect the city, learn the history. That's why when Pretty Boy Floyd tried to rob the bank in Boley, Oklahoma in 1932, he was met with a defense. Because at that time, even though the rest of the country was going through a depression, our towns were not. Our cities were not. They were still thriving. That's why he tried to rob that bank. It didn't work because there was defense. So when y'all talk all that, in fact, there's a agent, Grandmaster Jay's an agent, y'all said the same shit about the Black Panther Party in the 60s. There were people who were saying that in the 60s. Oh, they're causing too much trouble. Oh, there's no way that they could be that bold without working with same damn shit. There's no organization that has ever popped up. There's no individual who have ever popped up that had the courage to do what you cowards won't, that weren't undermined in some kind of way. Why? Because you guys can't even conceive, some of y'all can't even conceive someone having the courage of standing up. You can't even conceive it in your little mental midgeted mind. So you get fearful. That's why Lil Duval was tweeting that, oh gosh, if they start killing police, they're gonna just march in our neighborhoods. You don't even know who fucking killed the police, first of all. Second of all, they've been killing us already. What do you think all these protests is about? You had a police officer that lynched a black man in broad fucking daylight by suffocating him for 9 minutes. And you're talking about you're afraid about what will happen if some of them catch that L? We don't need you cowards saying shit. I don't give a fuck if you're a celebrity. I don't give a fuck if you're a little host of some bullshit. I don't give a fuck who you are. We don't need your cowardice shit. Not right now. This is not your day. Your day is over. It's the day for those who want to stand up. Stay in your lane. You don't have to do what everybody else do, but just stay in your lane, whatever that lane is. If you ain't participating in what it's taken to secure and to build in black power, which by definition is to define, develop, and defend what's in the best interest of black people. If you're not a part of that, we don't need to fucking hear what you have to say. So you got these Morris Science Temple clowns, KFC buckethead hat wearing ass Negroes like Taharka Bay, whose whole fucking channel now apparently is about attacking NFAC. And I've been peeping out here and there. I've been peeping out what some of these cats have been saying. I haven't seen any concrete information that I would say that NFAC or Grandmaster Jay is working with the fucking government. Unless the government now is interested in protecting black people and creating an army of black people who could defend themselves, I would have to say he's not fucking an agent. But I do know, according to the counterintelligence program, what the objectives and goals of COINTELPRO was. And you guys are in line with that, Taharka Bay and all the rest of you clowns. Whether it's because of fear or a paycheck, I don't care. But my point is this. If we're speaking about building towns, if we're speaking about Black Wall Street, accumulating wealth and power, and we're not speaking about a mechanism to be able to defend that, then what the hell are we talking about it for? Because we will not sustain it. So you can't tell me you're about black nationalism, but you're not about, you know what I'm saying, making sure that we have a mechanism in place to protect anything that we build. And if you're not part of building that, if you're not even supporting that, because most of y'all ain't, then whose side are you really on? Why would I care about what you think? Yeah, it's a new day. You coward, you know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, if you want to take it to the biblical shit, since I know a lot of y'all Israelites are going to watch this and shit, whatever. But if you really believe in that shit, then you should know what it is. Perhaps we're at the time of Exodus, where we are creating the nation within a nation, where we are departing from the tyrannical government that's been ruling. And perhaps in that time, that 40 days that the Israelites, or 40 years, they were circling, walking around in circles, waiting for the old ass cowards to die off before the next generation could take the promised land. I think that's where we must be at right now. We must be waiting for you old ass coward niggas to die off, because the youth are ready. And because of the nature of what we're going through, perhaps you ain't dying fast enough. Perhaps that. We got all kinds of good ass, you know what I'm saying, people dying off, and some of you fucking cowards are still here. Fucking disgusting. I want to hear from y'all, man. Real shit. So yeah, we need NFACs. We need this type of shit right here.
Will not allow the murder of another black person, whether it be by white people or black people. I am not fucking around any goddamn moment. Make some ancestral noise out this.
Yeah, but of course that's gonna scare y'all Negroes, man. Y'all couldn't imagine suiting up, strapping up, going down to the KKK headquarters, pulling up. You can't imagine that shit. It's not even a thought that would even enter your little fucking brain. So of course your coward ass motherfucker is gonna say the bullshit you're saying. Expect it. I mean, in fact, I've already done more than most of y'all Negroes have ever done in your fucking life. Most of y'all organizations that's been around. like the Morris Science Temple. You ain't even done that. They done pulled up for Breonna Taylor, creating a situation where that city knows that black people want results. And maybe the results ain't coming fast enough, but they're coming faster than they were. And what they did in Stone Mountain sparked something. And a lot of us have been trying to spark that for a minute, but that timing was just right. July 4th, after all this shit, after all these years of not getting any kind of support, any kind of whatever. So of course we understand that, you know, there's going to be some haters in there. And of course y'all understand what it really is. And of course you understand what time it is and why these things are happening right now, why they have to happen, and you can't stop it. You can make 1,000 videos about why they're agents. You're not going to stop it. And to stop it would only be stopping your damn self. To basically say that you'd rather die and get picked off one by these police than to just stand the fuck up and let them know that we ain't taking that shit no more. Feel me? So I don't know what happened. I mean, we're gonna get to this cop ambush situation, but I see this right here, this little Duvall. I don't really know who this is. I don't know if it's a actor or a comedian or something. Like, I've heard the name before. But I've seen a couple people retweet this, and, you know, shooting random police only gonna make them bring the military force. You don't even, do you know who fucking shot? I mean, like, just shut the fuck up, man. That's what you do. But we'll get into the story. Let's see what the fuck they got to say. Ambush. LA cops were shot near Compton police station, linked to alleged gang of rogue officers. So these cops that were shot, like, I don't know if you guys are aware of this. There's an actual, like, LA County gang of police who really have, like, a code of they fuck shit up on some bullshit and terrorize the community. Like, they have there's actual, and who didn't already know this, man? NWA's been telling you this. We've been telling you this on the West Coast. We've been knowing this in our community, that the police officers were really the gangs that fucking run shit, that really are the most tyrannical in our communities. We knew this. So now some of these same police officers linked to this gang that has been outed already have got shot, and you got Negroes afraid, upset. What are you talking about? Do you know how many people these police officers in these gangs have killed and illegally arrested? But you guys, come on, man. Fuck shit. So the pair of cops ambushed Saturday evening in California was shot near the Los Angeles County Sheriff Department station, a police station in Compton, a location reportedly rife with the rogue officers who are part of the gang called the Executioners. There's a police gang called the Executioners. What do you think that means? That means that there are police officers operating in the capacity of terrorists. And don't think it's just in LA. It's up here too. It's near you. So you talk about, oh yeah, you shooting random. They weren't random. For one, you don't know who shot them. For two, and for three, they're already rolling on our fucking community. The difference is some of y'all would rather just be victims than even entertain the idea of protecting yourself or true justice. But you act like you're godly. That's one thing black people do. We love to act like we're godly. Because we'll pick all these different religions. We're either Muslim or we're Israelites or we're in the voodoo and we're in the ancestral practices and all this other shit. But we don't. But if you're really righteous and you believe in justice, then you understand what justice really is, man. And you should understand what time it is right now. You should expect certain things to happen. How the hell are we going to have new results if there's not new things happening? I'm not saying to apply to anything. I'm not saying nothing like that. I'm saying, like, you shouldn't be surprised, and you damn sure shouldn't be scared when you see these things, and you damn sure shouldn't speak against certain things. Like, stay in your fucking lane. They used to use celebrities like preachers to make us suffer in silence in the past. Y'all are operating in that capacity right now with your fearful cowardice. Bitch ass nigga shit. Let me end it like this, though. Just to show you a video from a while back that I made. Blacktown Revival Movement, which is a Facebook group I created. just to get people used to the idea and to introduce people to the fact that we have cities. Like, check this out. This is Boley, Oklahoma.
Welcome to Boley, Oklahoma, home of the Boley Bears. Our tour begins with Pookie's Restaurant. Matter
of fact, I'm just going to let this play out, and this is going to be how I end it. I'm going to let this play out. This is a video called Black Town Revival Movement that I made on Facebook a while back, where basically I just showed, the town and let this lady who I actually spoke to, whatever, talk about the town, and then I just put a little spill behind it. This is just 2015 where I was at with it, and then we can take it from that in the future. But anyway, appreciate y'all watching. Make sure you subscribe, follow on Twitter, all that good stuff. Let me know what you think, and just know that there'll be more. I'll be introducing more, like, this king shit. Random thoughts of Your Highness.
Restaurant is a hotel. We have a service station and a cleaners that is no longer in service. We're entering Main Street in Boley now. To the right is the Hyde Park Mortuary. Atlas Service Station. United States Post Office. Charles Drew Community Health Center. 2 vacant buildings. Well Springs Community Service, Inc., the old liquor store, the cab company, the barber shop, Climax Lodge number 116, Central Telephone. We have the Boley Tower that is not in service. Boley Community Center. Behind the community center is the museum. Boley Convenience Store. Keys Department Store. The Old Hotel. Foon and Spark Restaurant. Boley Country Store. Homespun Blessing and Printing. Boley R&F Hardware. We have the Old Boley Bank. Faith Covenant Church. And the Haynes Building, which is the oldest building in Boley. Boley Town Hall, Fire Department, and Police Department. Behind the Police Department is a swimming pool that is not in service at this time. This sign is Boley Public Schools. They were state champions in 1970, 74, 76, and Class B champion in 75. And this concludes our tour.
There are towns that still exist right now, that there ain't no murder rates in those towns. There ain't no theft going on in those towns. You know what I'm saying? There ain't no white cops shooting down black people innocently, or black cops shooting down black people innocently in these towns. What there is land that could be being developed, but they don't have the manpower to do it. What there is an infrastructure that could be updated, resources that could be handled and building and sustaining power. All that potential is there. All they need is people can make it work. And if we're so damn conscious all the time, we're doing all this studying, we know every goddamn thing about every tribe in Africa ever. We know every damn inventor, black inventor. We know all these spiritual traditions. We know all this shit. What the fuck is good knowing all that if you're not doing nothing with it? This is the ultimate show and prove, manifest destiny shit right now that we could be doing. I'm not even talking about going and starting a whole brand new town where we got to build a city building. We got to hook up water and no, this shit's already in place. All they need is a makeover. All they need is some people that can revitalize towns and make them a factor. In a few years, it could be a new, Houston or something. A city that has some economic power, some political power, some, everything needed in that town being produced in that town, or at the very least being traded for with other cities and states or whatever. Economic powerhouse, a safe haven, a utopia for us. That Negro town that everybody likes so much on Facebook, you know, that you can share it 3,000 times, watch it 70,000 times in a few days. You know, that Negro town that everybody wanted so bad, but nobody wants to work for it. Some of us are going to work for it and make it happen. So those of you who think you have that potential or that interest, now it's time to link up. Now it's time to make that trend. It's time to make that an idea, a buzz, a conversation, so we can start working out the real, to start separating from the fake and working out the details of how to pull this off, because it wouldn't be that damn hard. It wouldn't need that many of us, because a lot of us ain't going to go. We already know that. If 1,000 people agree to, we'll be lucky if 50 actually do it. But that'll be more than enough. That'll be more than enough. People, we could probably get 1,000 acres and just do what it do. Add it onto that black town, and we're good. Live up somewhere in the town as we build the new addition to the town that we didn't purchase or acquired. So, I mean, you know, you can stay in Detroit and get, you know, be one of the 600-something deaths a year by murder. Stay in Chicago, New York, all these other places where they're systematically and literally destroying us. Or we can go do our own damn thing. Get away from these coons and these agents. Get away from these naysayers, these fakers, these busters, these racists, and do our own damn thing. Our own banks, our own spiritual system, our own schools where we teach what we want to our kids. So when they grow up, they have the confidence and understanding of who they are and what their job is. And we're eating real food and not GMOs. We ain't getting vaccinated. We don't have images on the TV that are negative to us, because we can have our own damn TV station, our own damn radio station. It's on Netta TV on Channel 3. You dig? Like I said, radio, tune in. We should be having a whole slew of that kind of shit going on. Channels full of black revolutionary education, you know, animation for the kids that are positive and that, you know, implant seeds of proper growth and development, cultural understanding, and spiritual upliftment, and all that. This is something that we could really make happen.